right now. He's the stream is up.
What corner am I?
You're gonna be
Nigga, red corner. Champs
Put him in red corner because of his shorts, low key.
No, hold up. Oh no, right now. Yeah, you're the red corner.
So do I just
Where did bro go?
sit in the vibing group? I'm in the red box. I'm in the go to the front where the
Yeah, I know you are. I know
We
you
about to walk out. We about to walk.
All right, y'all mind leaving again, please?
Yeah.
Just tell me when it's happening, bro.
All right, I'll you can see the chat, Diamond.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, peace out. Yo, Lexer.
How's it going?
Okay, bro. So, all right. This is the guy that's streaming the event. Just like keep it clean. Profanity is allowed, but keep it to a limit. No outrageous racist stuff. That's it, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can handle that.
Okay, so can you log into the server?
Yeah, let me go do that right now.
Okay, so it's just Roblox. You're gonna go into a game. You're gonna go to server. Click on the purple one, and then go to private servers, and then you just search in web. WEB,
huh? Good.
WEB, yeah. So tell me when you're in a boxing beta game.
I'm getting in the game right now, and then I'm gonna see WEB.
Has the stream started yet, Let it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me check if it is. I'll see it on my end. Yep, I see it.
Alright. I'm going to reset up.
Okay, so when I call both of the fighters and I say I put them in the middle, just rules, and then I'll put touch gloves, and then I'll start the round.
Got it.
Can you tell me the rounds for Bones and please?
4.
Okay, and then the minutes?
3 minutes.
Okay, so 180 seconds, round display. Okay, I have
Did
it.
you guys come up with Conquer?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think I'm in the server too.
So I'm about to ban this guy from the thing because he just keeps on bugging after he said he wasn't fighting anymore.
Bugging.
I'm telling you, bro. I don't know what's wrong with these guys.
I hate it when people do that, bro. So we're not gonna try it. Let it go, bro.
Exactly. Okay. Okay.
What does it say? Tight. I'm playing this game. Yes,
Look, sir, you don't have to type, bro. You're asking for the fighters.
Nice. Thanks.
Where is Bone? Sorry if it's taking a long time, Laddit. I'm just first event here. I'm getting it.
It's fine. I was slow with my first. I think a lot of people.
Okay. So one of the fighters is just taking a break. It's supposed to only take 5 minutes, so I'm gonna call out the other fighter.
Right.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. First fight of the night, we have Bones versus Diamond. Bones, I'm pretty sure he's 1-0 in another league, but we do reset the records in this one. So, both of these fighters are 0-0. Calling out the first fighter is going to be Diamond. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the first fighter, Diamond, 0-0, fighting for the WBA title, lightweight championship. This is for a tournament, so this is the quarterfinals. Semifinals will be happening at a later date. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Diamond. Man, this is hilarious. Low-key, his first event. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it seems Bones is AFK, so this will take around 2 minutes. It shouldn't take too long, but he will be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Bones. He's 0-0. Here we go. So right away, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing Bones has no one in his, but I do see Diamond. He has multiple in his corner. You know, Diamond already taunting his fighters together with his corner. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the rules to these fighters. Light it whenever you're ready.
Yep. I typed them. It's on the stream.
Okay.
And also I typed.
A little bit of a slow start from both of these fighters. Rang the bell, but none of them started. What's your prediction for this fight, Lexer?
You know, right now, after what I saw, you know, it's hard to say right now, you know, to really come up. It looks like they're both just trying to figure each other out right now. You know, it's interesting, though. I like Bones' style.
Ladies and gentlemen, both of these fighters, you know, they're going at it. I don't see no one as hurt yet, but we'll see where this fight goes. Got 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this first round. Some beautiful boxing from Bones there, and just countering.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like to, you know, be aggressive, you know, and they forget to be defensive and then taking...
Diamond running in the here. I don't know what the game plan is. People in the way here don't know what's going on. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Some interruptions, but beautiful boxing coming from both of these men. No knockdowns have happened yet. We got 4 rounds, 3 minutes, 1 minute remaining here in this first. Long rounds, you know. Lexer, what are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you think's winning so far?
Let's see. I like the weaving over here that I'm seeing right now. You know, it looks like both of them are trying to be a bit defensive still. You know, they'll take turns being aggressive, but it's hard to say right now for me, really.
Yeah, I really do think this was a fill-out round here from both of these fighters. It's beautiful boxing. Wow, and a punch that just snaps Bones' head back. Uppercut. Both of these men are trading well. I really do like the fight here. 10 seconds remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, what a first round. Great first round from both of these fighters. I mean, great boxing from both of them. Say that. Great fill-out round. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Second round. Seems as if Bones is not ready. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, he's risen from the dead real fast. I mean, he was just standing there, don't know what was going on. Great fill-out round. You know, this fight is supposed to be a 3 knockdown roll, but no knockdowns have happened so far.
Yeah, it looks like both of these guys are trying their best to, you know, keep their guard up, you know, and trying to take control of the ring, you know.
And I can agree with that, but, you know, I think it's the first fight. I want to get fans excited. I think they're doing a great job at it. I mean, they're being aggressive and then they're being defensive. It's just showing that, you know, they can box. Bones just standing still here. He emotes on him, but he got rocked.
Yeah, I don't know if now's the time to, you know, to taunt more so than to faint, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, great shots coming from the fighters here. You know, depending on how this round goes, I think I gave that first round to Bones, but I don't think it would be ridiculous to say the second round can go to Diamond. If a knockdown does not occur here, I mean, it could very well end up being a draw. You never know. But this is for the WBA championship, so I hope there's no rounds, because if it does go to a draw, there would have to be an overtime round, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it works with these tournaments.
All right.
Some great head movement from Diamond here. Absolutely dodging every punch, but he has to be careful with his stamina. It could go down real fast. Ladies and gentlemen, these rounds, usually in Roblox boxing, they're about 45 seconds. Professional boxing is 3 minutes. We did 3 minutes. And, you know, no knockdowns have occurred. It's really crazy to see. I think both of these fighters, you know, they're dodging well. They're fighting well. It's great to see as the first match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, spins around as a 360. I think he believes he's winning this fight. And it's not ridiculous to say that he is.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It could really go either way. I mean, it's been great.
You know, and it's like you said, you know.
End of the second round, ladies and gentlemen.
You know.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fight. Wow, the corner of punches Bones. You know, I have to separate them here. They're, you know, doing an awful lot of taunting here. I mean, it's crazy to think about. But ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. Third round, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this third round plays out. ladies and gentlemen. And the corner of Diamond says, you better keep him under control before I handle him. I didn't know there was animosity before going into this fight, but it seems like there is. Ladies and gentlemen, some great punching from Bones here.
Looks like he's staying at my turn, my turn to really start to take control of the ring.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, some great boxing from Bones here. He has Diamond, he has him wobbled. I believe so, ladies and gentlemen. Here.
Wow. You wonder, like, how long can he keep that up until, Diamond hits him with something back,
You really do, but we have a minute 50 here, and, these rounds have been 3 minutes, and I still haven't seen a knockdown. Diamond running, ladies and gentlemen, doing one of those famous Shakur Stevenson moves. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, wow, I just can't believe that, one of them is still standing. I'm surprised there hasn't been no knockdown yet. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes down. He goes down. Speaking of knockdowns. 2, 3.
Yeah, I guess it was either that, either he was going to get...
Ladies and gentlemen, and they go straight to fighting. They go straight to fighting, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't even type out, are you ready to fight? He just went straight in. It answered my question.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that knockdown from Bones could have just won him the fight. And he dodges his power punch, ladies and gentlemen. What an end fight. I mean, just to kick off the card is just showing you should be excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come to the end of the round here. 20 seconds here left to go in this third round. Knockdown occurred. I believe the first round went to Bones. Second round definitely went to Diamond. But now we just had a knockdown, which I think won Bones this fight if Diamond doesn't get a knockdown.
I'd have to agree.
End of the round here, ladies and gentlemen. End of the round. What a knockdown. Ladies and gentlemen, that was beautiful. I mean, I was just speaking of a knockdown and then it happened. I think Bones is really, it's really dialed in here.
And yeah, it's
here we go. Fourth round, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Diamond goes in as Bone has his hands down and he punches him. Absolutely no respect, ladies and gentlemen. These men, they just want to get straight to pawing at each other. You can outbox Bones. That's what Jeremy, who is the main event, ladies and gentlemen, in Diamond's corner. That's what he's telling him. Now, if you think about it, Diamond is losing his fight, and Jeremy was the one training him. It really makes you think how Jeremy's performance will go later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But you can't base it off of that. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Tyvon, who will be fighting next. Watching his friend here, Diamond, absolutely fight. I mean, great boxing from both of these men. Ladies and gentlemen, I think another knockdown might occur here for Bones. Ladies and gentlemen, Diamond stamina low. I knew this was going to be first round. And he's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Dropped.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I only counted 3, and Diamond's already up in boxing. I don't know if it's breaking the rules here, but I won't be taking off a point because, I mean, this fight is entertaining. I'm trying to entertain the fans, man. Blocks boxing. I'm not going to get too into the rules here, but hey, it's a great fight. So
yeah, I feel that.
Let them have fun. Let the fans be excited.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear the crowd here cheering as a beautiful fight will come to an end with a minute left in this round, ladies and gentlemen. I'm personally entertained. I don't know about you guys. What about you, Lexer?
Oh, the fact that we had a knockdown on the third round, rather than later on, it's just great. I think that's what the people are coming here to see.
It really is, ladies and gentlemen. And Bones is just standing there as Diamond spins around, ladies and gentlemen. These guys, both classy fighters. But one of them will have to go with the L. One of them will be victorious. One of them will win the WBA Lightweight Championship. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, and he taunts the corner of Diamond. The Diamond comes with a flurry of punches. And they say the word bum to Bones. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight here. I mean, man, 10-second bell, here it goes. Let's see how this fight ends off, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, and a big thunderous shot comes from Diamond as he tries to close out the round. But I don't think it was enough for him to win, man. 2 knockdowns coming from Bones. Stop, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting attacked here as... Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. This is wild.
Wow.
Chaos. Chaos erupts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, I'm the stream's going.
Okay.
Okay. The stream's still on.
Four cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, the new WBA lightweight champion. As I struggle to type out champion here on my keyboard.
Bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bones takes the dub home.
Bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, chaos erupts in the ring. They jump Bones, ladies and gentlemen. They're jumping him. They're mad that he won against their fighter. Against their fighter, Diamond.
Wow, I don't know what to do about this. It's something you'd see at a WWE event, not at a boxing event.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, man.
Oh, man. I think someone should get security or something.
Lexer, I think you gotta step in there, man.
I'm just a commentator for this event, unfortunately. I'm too far away also. I'm getting down. This is the woman figured out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. TJ versus Junior will be next up here. We couldn't give Bones the belt because, chaos erupted in the ring. If you guys saw it, you guys would know what I was talking about. Absolute chaos, ladies and gentlemen. But we move on to the next fight of this tournament, which will be TJ versus Junior for the WBO Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back, ladies and gentlemen. That was chaos. What were your thoughts on that, Lexer? You saw chaos happen. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna happen. I did see them beef at first, but man, that was crazy.
Yeah. It's a rare sight for me personally. I've seen a bit of trash talk and banter. Surely this is nothing new, but the fact that people really started getting that aggressive and that belligerent, it's just not very sportsmanlike.
It's really not, man. It was crazy. That was absolutely wild. I don't know what happened. How did that even happen, ladies and gentlemen? I just saw chaos be erupted. Chaos happens into the ring, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're ready for more chaos, TJ versus Junior is next up.
Yep, this is WED. You can't find entertainment like this elsewhere. Bro, this was slightly on them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was absolutely wild. TJ versus Junior coming up next. Are you guys excited? I know I'm excited. I know that was absolute chaos from both ends of the both ends here. It was absolutely wild. I mean, chaos. They went in, they started running. And that's what happened. But we will be announcing here in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, for the WBO title. TJ versus Junior, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for this fight. TJ being a great fighter, best friends with the main event, Jeremy. And then we have Junior, who was brothers with Isra, who was fighting for the main event. What are your thoughts on that, Lexer? It's like everyone has a relation here.
Definitely, sounds like it's definitely people that are well oriented with each other, and based off of the last fight, I'm looking forward to see what else happens. I mean, we got all sorts of things going on. It's pretty wild. Hard to say what to expect next.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Introducing TJ, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Tyvon, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at him. I think he's ready to fight. I think he is. And here comes Diamond after a great match, ladies and Tyvon. Ladies and gentlemen. Here is Junior, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just in time, we're introducing the fighters here.
Okay. Which one are these?
This is Tyvon and Junior.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Ladit with the rules. Yes, Tyvon and Juniors. Here comes Ladit with the rules.
The fuck is here in time?
Tyvon and Junior. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Got the instructions. Here we go. Hold on. It's alright.
Sorry, I just kind of ran up and down the mountain.
It's alright, man. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 knockdown rule. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First round. What are your thoughts on this fight, Lexer?
Well, so far I'm liking the man in the black. Sorry, what's his name here?
Junior, the one in the black.
Yeah, Junior. His hooks. I like his hooks and his uppercuts so far. You know, it's hard to say who's landing more hits on who right now. But these guys, they're both very aggressive fighters.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Junior lands great punches here, breaking the block of Taiwan. Wow.
Wow. what a
Ladies and
jab.
gentlemen, he broke his block and he was getting him for a second there. Ladies and gentlemen, breaks his block again, I'm pretty sure. Wow. His stamina goes down for a second, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are with the minute left. Minute 48 here in this first round. Great fight so far. I'm liking it. Ladies and gentlemen, down goes Junior.
Wow. This is Roblox, kid. Somebody said in the comment section. Yeah, that was good. I did not expect that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I say, are you okay? He says no, I mean yes. I don't know if that's a sign of CTE early on into the fight, but I think TJ just did some serious damage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you know, a knockdown like that in the first round, it's a reality check. If if you get back up, that's what it is.
It really is.
You gotta keep your head up.
Ladies and gentlemen, TJ has been training with the Shaolin monks, the iron chin techniques. We'll see how this goes out. Ladies and gentlemen, big punch lands. And down goes TJ, ladies.
Oh,
Down
my
he goes.
Wow, what a comeback.
Ladies and gentlemen, his corner says, get up. Okay, I'm good. Let me fight. There they go, ladies. 7 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and down is the first round. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Over the first round.
Wow.
Have to give a warning here. After the bell shots, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What a crazy first round. Both of them go down. So it was definitely a draw round, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mike for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, chaos getting happening here.
Is it just me or did everyone just
Yeah, don't know what is going on, gentlemen.
This is a riot. Right.
Technical difficulties here, ladies and gentlemen. But we will start up again. Hold on. Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the interruption. Don't know what happened there. Even the time sets. You know why.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, down goes TJ.
Junior has proven that he is a force to be reckoned with.
He says, I'm good, ladies and gentlemen. There they Ladies and gentlemen, down goes June.
Wow. You know, it still feels very, very even after seeing that. You know, they just keep taking
Ladies and
trades.
gentlemen, both of them have dropped each other twice. I believe this fight will be a draw if it continues this. Both of them dropping each other in the first round. Second round, another dropping for both of these fighters. They're really on timing today. I mean, what a great entertaining fight. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely thunderous. What a great shot. Ladies and gentlemen, down goes TJ.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, he says, let me fight. Now, usually, ladies and gentlemen, there's knocked, but since they were trading and it wasn't domination, and down goes Junior, ladies and gentlemen.
This is some adjusting, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to continue to fight. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 3-knock, but they have been trading. It hasn't been complete domination. So, we're going to let them continue. But if I do see a fighter get dominated too much with the knockdowns, I'll stop it soon.
Junior, they're both down on their guard now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Junior taking advantage of Tyvon, and down he goes, ladies and gentlemen. He says, am I done?
Am I done?
I'm good. Glad it. They were trading knockdown, so it's not going to be stopped unless Junior absolutely dominates it next round. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen.
And Vex says, I didn't hear the bell.
That was absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Third round, gonna start here. Just a minute.
You know, this case, I wouldn't be surprised if you someone get out. Oh my God. Can Junior do it again? Can he knock him down another time before he gets knocked down?
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
And down goes Junior.
Oh my day.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more to stop this. If Junior gets dropped one more time, it's over for him, ladies and gentlemen.
This is now becoming.
That has to be an absolute booster for Tyvon here. He's probably excited. Probably excited to get his last knockdown that he needs just to get this guy KO'd. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyvon's block broken here, but he's forced to fight.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, down goes TJ.
Oh no. was very intense. It could have been anyone's knockdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more. I'm gonna stop this fight.
One more.
For both of these fighters, ladies and gentlemen, whoever goes down next, it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, ladies. Is it a knockdown or is it a... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to wave this off, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna have to wave it off. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have Bone and TJ advancing to the semifinals, both of them making it. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos erupts in the ring again here. Don't know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, TJ wins.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, advancing to the semifinals, TJ. Man, great fight. What were your thoughts about that?
You know, like both amazing. You know, at one moment I thought TJ could have taken it. I mean, Junior, sorry, TJ or Junior, and you know, either way, the outcome. You know, I'm happy to just see both of them go at it. You know, give it their best.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what a fight. Both of them fought hard. They fought well. Fought nice. It was a great fight, ladies and gentlemen. Really a great fight.
Right now? Are they fighting right now?
Who?
Are they fighting like right now? Anyone?
A fight just got stopped, or we're gonna start up another one.
Damn. Is it too late to join?
It is, but we can feature you on the next event, definitely. Just DM me on Discord, man.
Alright, I got you. Bro, everyone was telling me not to. I'm a high rank. Alright, bet. Yeah, just let me know.
Alright, well, peace out, man.
Alright, later.
Have a good night, sir.
Don't even know who that was, ladies and gentlemen, but hey, if you're interested in fighting, shout out on Instagram, theweb.promotions, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, sounds like this man was about it, though.
It really does. I mean, he did ask for his fight.
Yo, what is going on? Like,
Yo, Darius, your fight is up, bro.
bro, I thought you was hosting Saturday. Oh yeah.
Nah, bro, it's today. Let me get your opponent. Yeah, just join up the server, man. You gotta go. You already know. It's just called Web.
All right. All right, I'm about to join.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is Saint Mason. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get LaPhonics versus the one and only Saint Mason, ladies and gentlemen. Saint Mason, very confident about himself recently. He's been hyping himself up and saying that he's the best. You know, he's going to win this tournament. We'll really see with LaPhonics being a tough fighter. I've seen him spar. I've seen him fight. He looks about it, and he looks really good, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what he's able to do. Let me just get his opponent here. Luxor, what have been your thoughts on these fights recently? On these fights so far?
found myself in a fight. Ironically, I don't know.
Hey, who's fighting now?
But
Yo,
looking
VMG
back at the
Nano,
match,
can you please just watch the stream? I'll post the link here in the server. We're trying to commentate here.
Alright.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Hey, what's your Twitch?
It's streaming on YouTube. I'll send you the link.
I bet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna be on mute. I'm gonna be on mute.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight here. Don't know what's going on.
Oh, I joined the server. I don't know.
Yo, Nano.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, they didn't want me to fight because of my ring.
What you mean?
Yo, if you want, you guys can join the general voice chat. We're trying to commentate here. If you guys don't mind leaving.
Oh, yeah, all right, my bad, bro.
That's all right, bro. Appreciate you guys for understanding. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace out, man. Respectful, you know. Thank gosh these guys are respectful. Some people are not left. But Ladit, what's been your thoughts, man? You know, you're the streamer here, but what's been your thoughts on these fights?
They're pretty good. I mean, the first wasn't now put in fresh the map. You know, usually when it comes to fight, minutes long, it ends two ways. Part of these fights really.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, man. When I first started this company, I was like, man, this Roblox fights are probably gonna be boring, but you know, it was a fun time and it's a great time.
Yeah.
Okay, Ladit, you mind getting the rules for Saint Mason versus Laphonix here? And can you tell me what title they're fighting for here?
They're fighting for BO.
IBO, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, how many rounds is it, Ladit?
3 minutes.
5 rounds, 3 minutes?
Yep.
Get this set up right here. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering about these walkouts, why isn't there audio? I can explain it. I don't know if but we are not doing ring walk songs because of copyright, ladies and gentlemen. We do not want this taken down over walkout songs. But later on in the future, we will be.
We tried it once. Instantly, like, we got, and it was
Don't know who that is there. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Laphonix, you know, record of 0-0. He looks confident. And here will come Saint Mason. Ladies and gentlemen, from what I've been hearing, you know, Saint Mason, great fighter, fought in other leagues before. One of them being PBC, which is actually owned by Boxing Beta, if I'm not mistaken. But he's talked a lot of trash to Lafonix, so we'll see. Can he talk the talk and walk the walk? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll sit here. Let it. You want to give us the rules here?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
All right. This is for the IBO Lightweight Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, little in there, but lightweight champion coming up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Saint Mason versus Lafonix. Get it started. Saying weight, but there's no weight in this league. Let's see this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this fight plays out. Really excited for this. Everyone has been hyping up Saint Mason, and I want to see just how good he is. Ladies and gentlemen, great fight happening so far, but I'm not impressed with Saint Mason yet. But I do believe he can come in these later rounds and attack. Some great boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Laddie, is this fight a 3 knockdown rule? Is this the rules, or is it regular?
It is 3 knockdown rule. So if you are knocked 3 times in 1 round, it will be stopped. Now, if someone who has fought before in LFC, maybe like a couple times, not too many, I'm not fully impressed right now with Saint Mason.
Right?
Yep, I'm not fully impressed. Going in there, I fought some very difficult people a couple times. Some people who are currently signed in PTB and LFC both at the same time. I'm not impressed right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, down he goes! Ladies and gentlemen, down he goes!
It doesn't say it's not allowed.
Yeah, that was really allowed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Saint Mason's getting mad at me because he's...
Yeah. Right now, what I would be recommending to Saint Mason right now is kind of preserve some of that stamina. Try to make this other guy waste his stamina, because he's really good at doing that. But Saint Mason right now is also wasting his stamina. He's not using a lot of prediction or reflex in his dodging techniques, and it's wasting a lot of his stamina.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even if he's recovering, Lafonix is probably recovering fast.
You should probably handle the guy in the ring right now that should not be in the ring.
Don't know what's going on here.
I'd probably say restart the last 50 seconds.
Lad, is there an option where we could keep randoms out of the ring?
Yeah, I can try TPing them out.
Alright, if you could please do that. We're gonna get started here.
I don't know who is who, so I'm just gonna be guessing. If someone gets caught on accident, it's my bad.
It's alright, man. Our band won in the rings. Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. St. Mason getting dropped there in the first round, getting frustrated. Don't know why he's getting frustrated at me, though. What are your thoughts on this, Laddie?
I think it's going pretty good right now. I mean, they're showing some great stuff right now. I think I kind of, though, need to see a little bit more from Mason right here, because I just see him getting beaten. Like, he's taking a lot of shots right now, and it's really not showing a great representation for LFC right now. That was a really good power, though, right there. I'm gonna give him that.
And he has a low on the block. He's just backups are gonna see who it is. Gonna kick him out here. Guys, if you're just gonna be doing that kind of thing, just cut it out, man. See if fight's going on, don't know what's going on with that. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing is, Darius here trying to block out all the uppercuts. I mean, that wasn't a rule. I don't think all uppercuts in your build make a difference.
It doesn't exactly make a difference.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you do fall, you know that first round went to straight by a 10-8. But you know, I think St. Mason's doing a great job here in the second.
St. Mason's doing great, but you kind of laid off of the aggression, and I think I need to see him go back into that aggression. Because right now, I'm seeing him getting back into that situation that he was in round 1, where he kind of had to be on the back foot for the whole round, and he's taking hits because of it. He's getting tired because of it, because his predictions, frankly, aren't that great.
They aren't, you know, he's getting caught a lot here lately. It's not a good look for him, you know, he's been hyped up a lot, but I still think he can live up to the hype. I think it's just he needs to figure out his game plan.
If I was St. Mason right now, what I would be trying to do is try to analyze my opponent, see like when exactly are they punching. When I reach their range, do they punch first thing or do they dodge first thing? And go off of predictions from there on out. See when they dodge, see how they dodge.
You gotta time them, you can't be wasting your stamina. Ladies and gentlemen, the round is about to come to an end here. St. Mason's gonna make it out.
Yeah, not only do we have to see St. Mason try to continue to keep their guard, they have to make up for the lack of opportunities that they've taken.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Glad.
Yeah.
Who do you think took that round?
I mean, it's really hard to say. Both opponents had great moments in their rounds. I will say, though, St. Mason, I think, could have done better, and I would say Straight should have had that round.
You gotta heal St. Mason here, he was AFK. There they go, ladies and gentlemen. First event being ran here. If it's not as good, fix it. But hey, man, I think it's all about the entertainment. I think it's entertained. What do you think, Laddie?
I think it's doing good on the entertainment level. It's not just a one person taking it all and just constant boring, where nothing's happening. There's actual stuff happening here. St. Mason right now is doing really good. He lowered his guy's stamina a lot, and he's doing great. In fact, I think he might get a knockdown in this round. if he
I think
continues
he
the
is.
aggression.
He's getting his stamina low, and he's just, you know, really pushing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think he just needs to apply that pressure. Thoughts on this?
I think the impression. You go.
Oh, sorry. No, I mean, I'm just on board with you guys. Like, I think if we don't see anything more from St. Mason, like, this is the round for him to kind of, you know, get a knockdown and really get more points on the Phonics right now.
Right now, we're seeing some crazy footwork from Straight right now. Phonics is doing good on the footwork. I'm seeing him move around, prevent the knockout. For a moment there, I thought he was going to get knocked down, but all of a sudden that pressure just wasn't enough, and he's kind of getting back to where he used to be. I think this round, if the pressure doesn't get back onto him and doesn't get pushed back, I think Straight might win this round again.
I think he will, ladies and gentlemen. That could cost St. Mason the fight. We had a 10-8 round, and then I believe Mason took that second round, but it was close. You don't know what the judges are scoring. You don't know what they think. It could be a draw, ladies and gentlemen. Second bell coming up here.
Mason needs to kind of push some more. He's getting tired, and Straight just kind of... Straight kind of threw away the chance he had there. His opponent was tired, and he backed up. He could have used those 2 seconds to do whatever he wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen, some fighting going on here. Don't know what's going on. I think St. Mason's just frustrated here, you know?
I mean, I would too. If I fought in LFC and I fought all these tough opponents, I would not be happy with struggling against some guy who isn't even in those promotions.
You know, when I met Straight, he's not that high of an elo, but I saw him squat and I was like, this guy, he's a great fighter, you know? I mean, and you just see him right now, maybe he doesn't spend that much time on the game, but maybe he has experience. Season 1 Diamond at C from the glove, I mean, he does have the experience. I think that win right now.
You know, typically when I see Season 1 Diamonds, I typically think that they're washed. Because, you know, sometimes, most of the time they quit the game, you know, and then they just come back and the game's not the same anymore with the stamina changes. But right now, I'm currently being proven wrong right now. I'm seeing Season 1 Diamond who came in and he's doing great.
It really is. I don't know what that was. Like, it seemed like a hop. He was in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Mason really needs to fix this because, man, it is not looking like a great time for him, ladies and gentlemen. I think this fight could be stopped.
Right now, Straight should have kind of lost all of his stamina when he had the chance to wipe out Mason. Right now, this round is really close.
It really is. I don't think the fight's close, but I think the round is close. I think Straight, aka LaPhonics, I think he's really taking this. I think he's winning this fight. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Right now, it looks a lot like Straight has been winning, but he's doing great. But Mason is kind of trying to fix all of his errors right now. And he did great. He baited him into trying to knock him out, and it ended up badly for Straight. Typically, he did great at trying to make Straight confident, but I don't know if he's going to be able to recover it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it knocked down my... And ladies and gentlemen, it did!
Great knockdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, only gonna fight to 2. You're only gonna count to 2. Let them fight. Don't know what they're talking about. Visible invisible punch. Do you know what this is, Pettit?
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saint Mason, he's saying, hey, if you're gonna do something, I'm gonna do it back. So I mean, hey, I don't know. I really don't know about the. That's the end of the round. I don't know about this invisible punch, and I don't know about this. I mean, uppercuts, ladies and gentlemen, but. Hey, Saint Mason, he said, if you're gonna do that to me, I'm gonna do something back to you, and it seems like it's working for him.
Right here.
Yo, Nano.
I'm sorry. I thought this was the other dude trying to.
That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this here, Leddit?
It's going great. I think Mason needs to show something though this round. He really needs to recover this fight.
He really does, man.
I think if he loses this round, it might be over for him. I think he might have lost if he loses this round. Right now, though, coming into this round, Straight is exhausted. He kind of needs to watch his dodging. He needs to watch that stamina. Ooh, good punch right there from Straight. Straight is landing a lot of good punches right there. Straight needs to be extremely careful though. He's getting really cocky, and because of that, he gets hit with a lot of shots.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, and I don't know what's going on, but it seems like Saint Mason has been winning this round. Is that what's going on here, Leddit?
Yeah. Honestly, I'd say I agree with that. I think Straight has been way too cocky in this round, and I think he needs to fix up his issues. I see him using up a lot of his stamina. I see him trying to do all these emotes and whatnot, trying to time. Honestly, I think he needs to watch out for that knockout, You can't just trust the fact that you're not going to get knocked out.
Saint Mason could really take advantage here. I'm giving him his back, ladies and gentlemen. If this isn't cockiness, I don't know what is. What are your thoughts? What needs to be done here?
I think what needs to be done here is I think Mason needs to slow down and just time on his punches. I think he needs to get a knockdown if he wants to at least draw this match.
He did get one last round.
Yeah, and I think he's going to need to get another one just to very much prove that he can take this guy on. He needs to very much humble this guy a lot. Honestly, I think Mason has not very much impressed me with this fight.
Who do you think won that?
Well, let me think. The first two rounds were definitely for Straight. Third round was a little bit iffy, but I'll say it was to Straight. The fourth round definitely went to Mason, and it was complete domination. I would say that probably was a 10-8. And then round 5 was probably a 10-9.
Ladies and gentlemen, got kicked out of the game here, but coming back with the judges' scorecards. Coming back with the judges' decision.
I think it might be a little bit close. It's hard to say.
What were your thoughts on that, Lexer, if you're still here? Don't think Lexer's still here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think honestly it might be a draw. I mean, I don't know how the judges score, but I mean, if I was judging, it might be a draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, based off of my scorecard, I had a draw. So did the two other judges who did text me on Instagram. So, a draw will happen. What are your thoughts on this, lad? A draw?
I agree with this.
I agree with this.
I think I very much agree with this. I think St. Mason really should have gotten that knockdown in the last round. Really should have tried it. But now that we're coming to an overtime, I'm really curious to see who will win this time. I would say the keys to victory right now for this last round, for Straight, he needs to really control that stamina. He needs to watch it. And for St. Mason, he needs to just watch those dodges. He needs to be patient. Be really patient and figure out what he is doing wrong. And I think he'll win.
Ladies and gentlemen, overtime round started, ladies and gentlemen. I think Mason really has something to prove. You know, he has to prove that walk the walk. You know, I think he was saying that he was going to do all this stuff, and I think he was just overlooking Straight, aka Laphonics. But hey, as the rounds started going, I think Mason really picked up the pace there. What about you? What do you think?
I think he needs to prove that he is truly an LFC fighter and that he deserved it. Because right now, I'm not impressed with his performance.
You know, I was expecting a lot more from him, you know, him coming from other leagues. You can't blame him. Nerves could happen, anything could happen.
I mean, yeah.
Who do you think is taking this round so far?
It's hard to say, but, you know, I've seen Straight landing a lot more shots on the other guy, and I think it's been working out a lot more better. And I think the arena just went completely invisible. I think there was a Chinese jamming interference.
I don't know what's going on. This is literally the second time that has happened. Light, you have more experience with this Roblox stuff. Do you know what's happening?
No clue, unless someone swapped the arenas.
I mean,
or
the arena
the
is
areas.
the same.
Or like if they swapped the whatchamacallit, the gym. Because those two, they can teleport people. Or if you turned on arena restriction.
I mean, I don't have nothing on HUD, so I don't know what is happening right now.
Yeah, I did nothing.
Here comes straight. Alright. Sorry for the interruptions, man.
Crazy words font someone a cornball when you're in LFC and your owner's Manu.
Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute, man, a draw happens. Then they go to an overtime round. Then, I don't know what happened. Reset it for some reason. This is some great fighting from both of them, but man, I think Mason is really letting it slip here.
Mason is slowly letting the belt slip out of his hands. He needs to do something here. Because right now, he might get knocked out.
He will, I think he will, and if Straight does get that, I think Straight will win this.
And I think another thing Straight needs to watch out for is dodging. If he dodges, or the other guy dodges on him, he might lose all of his stamina. And boom!
Wow, ladies and gentlemen.
Magnificent knockdown right there. It's not against the rules.
It's really not. I mean, they're saying gonna be. And what are your thoughts?
Me personally, I don't see an issue with it. I have fought in many leagues before, and against many people with the same spam, like the same spamming stuff, and I've won against them really easily. I don't see the issue with it.
I really don't either, but hey, I was hearing an invincible. Don't know what's going on, but I think, you know, just fight. I mean, you've been in so many other leagues.
You've been in so many other leagues. You've fought so many big people, and you can't just cry about it. You know, like just fight them.
I think, man, he just has to shine under the.
I've fought against players like Swayze Lopez and many others, and you know, even if when I struggled, I didn't complain. You know, they were hard motherfuckers. Swayze is literally like signed in PCB and signed in LFC, and he was great. I think Mason really needs to show that he is a signed LFC fighter. He needs to prove that he was, and he's not proving it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Says, I don't care, I won. I mean, I just seen the scorecard, and I don't think it's true.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in this person who's supposed to be an LFC fighter. I've seen many LFC fighters that they were not terrible. They were good.
Don't know why St. Mason is behaving this way. Man, I really don't do this, and I don't want to do this, but if he's gonna be doing that, you know, he's kicked. But ladies and gentlemen,
You should just be sure you check out LFC though, in case he tries to get you banned or whatever the fuck.
Straight jazz. I don't care. That nigga cheated.
It's not against the rules.
Can you explain to us? Did Trey?
What you say?
Manny, Darius, can you explain how he cheated?
Bro, in official promos, you can't have more than one punch. I had a full build and they told me I had an invisible punch. No, I didn't. He put on all uppercuts and only. He's fucking weak and stuff.
But just because it's in other leagues doesn't mean it's just in this league too. Many other leagues have 45-second rounds. Many leagues have 45-second rounds.
Hey, how about you fight on Lenny? Fight on watching this on YouTube.
Okay, I'll fight you. You suck, bro. I fought in LFC too. You ain't scary, bro. I've beaten Swayze Lopez, bro, who is more bigger than Nano.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the decision was right. Manny may not agree with it, but hey, if he wants to get a rematch, I'll absolutely give it to him. He's a great fighter. I'm not gonna take nothing from him. I just didn't see what I think I needed to see.
Hold up a second. Oh, you're the welterweight. This guy's the welterweight champion in LFC? Manny.
I'm not sure. I just know he has experience in other leagues. That's what he told me. Can we get the names for the can we get the rules for Jaden versus Lord? Jaden versus the Soviet Master.
Yes. Let me load them up. Alright. Alrighty. Hold on, let me load them up.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this next fight, I'm excited for it. The Soviet Master, friends with Darius, I would say pretty close friends, and I've heard he's been in multiple leagues as well. Has a great record. Don't know it, that's why they're 0-0 in this league. You know, it's a new league. But hey, Jaden used to fight for Social Battles. I used to fight for that company a while back. And, you know, Jaden, he was tough. I beat him, but it wasn't easy. So, you know, I want to see the Soviet Master. I want to see how he handles the pressure, how he the fight. Awkward veteran that he's about. But I have high hopes for both of these fighters. And whoever wins, what title will they be winning? Light it.
They will be fighting for the IBF lightweight champion belt.
IBF, ladies and gentlemen. And straight here, he fought for the IBO if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I just want to say, man, congratulations to Straight. He really pulled off an upset. And, man, we all know that, you know, St. Mason, he'll be back. I know he will in this league. And I'll have to learn about that spamming. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the fighters. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, Jaden. Let's see him, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see him. His opponent right in front of him. Let's see if he can get this win. Let's see how he does here.
Bro is an LFC champion.
Can we get the rules here?
Yep. I typed them out earlier.
Hey, Sergio. Let me face off with Jaden after his fight.
Alright, bet.
Alrighty. Rules are typed out.
Okay, let's get this set up here, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get the... Can I get the rounds here?
6 rounds, 3 minutes.
So they're fighting for the IBF title, correct?
Correct.
Great. I mean, great looking belt. I rep game. Let's see the Soviet master. Let's see if he can really show us what he's about. Great style from Jaden coming in. But I love the style from the Soviet master, man. He's being patient and he's just trying to see what he can do. I've seen a little bit of a long guard from him. You know, we see the jabs. His name is Dmitry Bivol Glazer. I mean, he's fighting just like him right now. What are your thoughts on this? Do you know the famous, the Soviet master lad? I know he's friends with Darius. Is he fine?
I actually do not recognize the name. I might recognize him later if I look into him. But currently, right now, I do not recognize him. I actually did not know that St. Mason actually was the famous LFC champion, Ahoma Tokyo, who is the welterweight champion, I presume. Which is absolutely wild to me, actually. I will have to say, Oma Tokiata very much has downgraded since I last saw him fight. Back when he started first in Xfinity and then moved into LFC due to some issues that he had, similar to what he just showed recently. He used to be very good.
great information. This guy's experience. So, we gotta trust this commentary here. Who do you think's winning this round so far? I think the Soviet Master's applying the pressure.
Right now, I'm seeing if the Soviet Master is the guy in the black shorts, I think he's winning pretty well. He's doing really good on breaking down that block, and he's doing really good on trying to manage it. He's dodging around. He's making the dude waste his stamina. It's perfect what he's doing. What he is doing is absolutely perfect, and he's going to get the knockdown right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a knockdown here in the first round.
This person's style is great, and I see it continuing to be great as he continues throughout the match, unless there is some sort of adapting that will happen with Jaden. But right now, I'm not seeing any of that. The Soviet Master is being really smart. He tried to figure out his opponent, and it took a little bit of a second, but he instantly got the knockdown. And right now, he just broke the guy's block with the power punch. That was absolutely a beautiful thing to do right there. Honestly, I feel like he could have saved it for the next round, but I think it won him the round and showed everyone that he can probably just win this whole fight in the second round. And I see potentially 2 knockdowns in this next round.
I mean, man, I don't believe Vlad did do 3 knockdowns. I don't think there is for this. See how they do, ladies and gentlemen.
Right now, starting off slow, trying to see if Jaden's going to do anything. But now that he sees that Jaden's not going to really do anything when he comes up to him, he's just going to abuse that. He's going to punch him. This right here is the beautiful art of boxing beta, where you try to figure out how your opponent works.
Let's get this guy out here. Can I get his name?
Xander, hold on, I got you.
He's out.
Yeah, I banned him. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of something where we're seeing still go a little bit slow here. A little bit slower than I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to go a lot more faster now that he figured out his opponent. Right now, he's just kind of taking his time. He's waiting. He's kind of a slow burner.
I think it's a great style from him. He's being patient, but he's getting the damage done.
Exactly. It's great to see. But it isn't exactly what I was hoping for. I was very much hoping for 2 knockdowns this round. And though he might be able to if he really slips by it, I don't know if he's going to get it now.
Great shots coming from Jaden here. Trying to bully him in the corner, but the Soviet Master's just not going to let it happen. And man, he's really living up to that name. Style beautifully. What are your thoughts on that, lad? What are your thoughts on the style?
I think it's a great style. I think it's a great slow burner. But, you know, I feel like he could maybe go just a little bit more faster. Ooh, good power punch right there from Jaden.
You know, Jaden, he's trying to play possum right here.
Yeah, he's trying to play a very positive style, but it's not working out because Jaden hasn't figured out Soviet Master, and he hasn't got down his predictions yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is going on here. I thought Jaden would be tougher, but we have 22 seconds coming in, and I think we might. And we do, ladies and gentlemen. Second knockdown, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, that is his second knockdown.
He's up, he's ready to fight.
Jaden came in really fast, and I'm hoping that might be something that we see more. I feel like we're going to see a little bit more aggression from Jaden. Possibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, CJ going in, the one who just tied saying stop getting dropped to face off with Jaden. Do you guys think these two would make up? Two would make up a good match in the semifinal, but that is if Jaden wins, which doesn't look like it so far. What do you think? Would you be excited to see that after seeing the performance from?
I'd actually be really excited to see that if Jaden was able to pull off some sort of upset here. Honestly, if I was Jaden, I think I would try to throw off the Soviet Master. Clearly, the passive isn't working here, and he needs to go aggressive. He needs to try to figure out something.
Is really putting on a masterclass, and I think he's gonna have to put the rest of these fighters on alert. Because man, I don't think I've seen a performance this good. But you know, straight he pulled off a really big upset, and I think he might be one of the big promotions now. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely broke his block, and he's continued to slam the hammer on the Master. Just really giving it to him right now. And another. Ladies and gentlemen, he's ready to fight. I would say one more of those in this round. Stop it. What do you think, Laddie?
I think it's interesting, but I think right now what I'm seeing from Jaden here, he really needs to manage that block better. And he needs to figure out, he needs to play aggressive. He needs to throw off Soviet Master. Soviet Master has him right where he wants him. He can think, he can properly figure out how he works. But if you pressure him, he's gonna have a harder time thinking because he's gonna have to just go off of reflex. And I think right now what we need to see is a little bit of that. In the end of the second round, we saw Jaden able to do a little bit of something to Soviet Master just by playing a little bit more aggression. And I think he needs to do that. I think Jaden also needs to stop letting this guy break his block. Letting someone break your block is the first moment when I know that guy might lose. Because it leads to this.
I think we might get a knockdown here. And he's down again, ladies and gentlemen.
Right now, if I was Jaden, I would try to start managing my block. Stop holding it when it gets to 20 or 15 HP, so then that way, it takes less time for it to regenerate.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more, it's over. I think that's a great rule. I mean, Jaden's getting dominated out here. That's the fourth knockdown.
Jaden really needs to throw on the aggression right now, and I think he's doing that. I think he was about to start doing that well, but he really needs to do something.
One more knockdown, ladies and gentlemen. I have to stop this because the Soviet Master has dynamite in those hands as he's continuing to plow on Jaden. Just absolutely laying the Soviet
Jaden really needs to
style.
start managing that block, and he needs to go aggressive. He needs to figure out what he's doing with him. He needs to stop giving him breathing room. I'm seeing Soviet Master reach to 17, and then each time when that happens, he just backs away, letting the Soviet Master regain his block, and then just continue going into him.
We got Diamond here after a tough fight, man. It was a very tough fight.
I think he needs to go into Soviet right now. Right now, Soviet is right now lacking in the aggression, and I think right now is the perfect time that Jaden can use that against him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're seeing the Soviet Master slow because of his internet here, but man, he's continuing to dominate even with bad Wi-Fi. This is how you know he's a great fighter, man. He's really shining under pressure.
Jaden really is ruining everything. I honestly don't know what he's thinking in his head.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't play much
It's gonna be
Boxing Data,
over.
but this might be.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is over. This one is absolutely over. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great fight. Our co-main event coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just hope. Let's just hope this co-main event can still happen. You know, no fighters at the co-main being awfully quiet. What were your thoughts on that performance by Soviet Master?
I think it was magnificent. He did everything that he needed to do. He did absolutely perfect, and he took advantage of what was given to him. Honestly, I think that Jaden could have done a lot more better. Jaden was really letting his block just getting breaking down instead of just letting it go when it reaches that midway point and having it have a slower cooldown. I honestly think that Soviet Master did great. He took advantage of everything that was happening and used it all against his opponent.
Ladies and gentlemen, trying to get this co-main event started. Now, I will say this. If the fight of the co-main event does not happen, we have had a lot of issues. We will have to cancel it. And this is for the Ring Magazine title. But we will have to cancel it, and we will have to give the main event the title fight. They will be fighting for the WBC and Ring Magazine. Crazy to think about. But Takari is ready. Takari has said that he's ready for this fight. So let's see if his opponent joins up. Laddie, can we get the...
Yeah.
Can we get the rules here for Takari's fight? Now, if you guys are wondering, Takari versus Trey, we're supposed to, you know, face off. Takari pulling out, and then we saw YTU come in. He was like, "I want to fight." We put him to fight. He couldn't fight, and then Takari came back in, and then Trey pulled out again. So we had to find a whole new fighter. And yeah, it's just been chaos since.
So who's replacing Trey?
The person that is replacing Trey is difficult name to say here.
Just type it to me. If you can.
His name is L5 Pop Them.
Alrighty. Rules are typed out.
I'm just waiting on Takari here, ladies and gentlemen. Takari, you know, tough fight. He's a really good fighter, fought on social battles. quite a few times. Pretty sure his record in social battles is 14 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. I mean, I used to fight in that league, and there were a lot of people that were tough in that league, so we'll see how far this plays out.
Yo, Sergio, what's going on?
The co-main event is about to start. What do you mean, what is going on?
Oh, shoot. Hey, check your messages, though. I DM you. I don't know.
I saw it. I can't answer because I'm in the game and it'll make me.
Alright, I didn't know you were on phone.
Oh, okay. Peace out, man.
Alright, peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sakari will have 5 minutes to join. If not, we're going to have to give the win to L5. Just because, you know, I don't want to make it a long night for. What are your thoughts on this league so far, Laddit?
I think it's great so far. I think it shows a lot of progress right now. It very much can do well right now. I remember a lot of leagues starting the same way, and they do great in the future. As someone who has ran about 3 leagues technically, actually 4 now that I think about it, this one is really great right now. It follows the steps of where leagues tend to grow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sakari has confirmed he will be joining right now. So, man, I'm excited for this fight. Sakari's a great fighter, great person. I'm hoping he's able to get the win here. Fighting for the Ring Magazine title, ladies. Laddit, what's been your favorite fight so far, man? You've been here since the first one. We obviously had Diamond versus Bones, great fight to kick off the night. Then we had TJ versus Junior, great fight as well. I mean, man, absolute masterclass by TJ.
I would have to say it would have to be St. Mason against Straight. I think both fighters showed a little bit of competition to each other. Even though the end was a little bit iffy, I think it was magnificent. But you know, I have experience with that with St. Mason before, and he doesn't like losing, and he doesn't like opponents going out on him. So, you know, seeing that he's just making excuses, it kind of makes me lose respect. But the fight was magnificent. Other than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, L5 making his way to the ring. Is this one of our guys? I'll just kick him. Don't know what he's doing here. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Sakari, as I said, record of 18 wins. I believe so. But man, let's see how this fight plays out. Can I get the rounds for this? Is it 10 rounds? 3 minutes?
10 rounds. I think it's a 3 actually. It is 10 rounds, 3 minutes.
I want somebody on my level, but you accepted the fight, man. No point out now. What are your thoughts on this, Laddit?
I honestly see no issues. I mean, Straight was on a different ELO than, man, I'm just gonna call him Oma Tokita, just because that's what he actually is in LFC, since I know him by that name. They were both different ELOs, and it's fine. And I mean, I've seen many people with low ELO beat people who had way more higher ELO. I mean, I've literally seen a silver fight a 200 in, what was it? It was PBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see how this fight starts off, man. People are already doubting the... But hey, he can really cause an upset if you think about it. Oh my gosh, flurry of punches. Takari's block is about to be broken.
Right now, the guy, I don't know his name, but Takari is right now doing really good. He's keeping his block up high. He's keeping his stamina decent. Right now, he just made the knockdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not responding like the other fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you want to fight. He says no. Ladies and gentlemen, he's quit. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, I have hosted fights similar to these with similar rules. I think this is maybe the third time I've ever seen someone ever say no. Ever.
I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, Takari wins the Ring Magazine. He's gonna advance to the semifinals, man. An absolute domination performance. I don't know what happened, but his opponent quit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it through 7 fights, if I'm not mistaken. 6 fights, actually. But ladies and gentlemen, who's ready for the main event?
I am.
Man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready for this fight, man. I'm hyped up. Me and Ezra used to fight in the same company social battles. Always used to walk him out. Man, all I can say, he's a character and he's a great fighter. We'll see how he does. He's the main event for a reason, man. I think he's a step above everyone in this league. But man, we'll see. We saw a lot of great people. Soviet Master and Straight being my favorites. Takari getting the fastest stoppage, I think, of boxing beta history, man. Opponent just quit. Crazy.
I think I've seen faster, but yeah.
Man, I haven't seen faster, but we'll see what's gonna happen.
Trust me, I've seen faster.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you guys have been waiting for. Man, I'm hyped for this main event. I really am. What about you? What about you, Laddie? What's your thoughts on this?
I think I was excited the moment I saw LeBron James was choosing to fight for this league. You know, we've seen LeBron James, you know, play in a basketball court, and he's magnificent. He can jump really high. And some people would like to say that he is the greatest of all time. Now the question comes, is he the greatest of all time in boxing?
Ladies and gentlemen, here he comes, JTG. I don't know if y'all are ready for it, but I'm hyped. Is the crowd booing here? Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy getting booed here. Jeremy getting booed here. Don't know what is going on. What are your thoughts here? What are your main event? You've made it. You've said this event has been entertaining. Do you think this main event will be entertaining?
I hope it is very entertaining, and I think it very much may be. I'm seeing LeBron James and the Looney Tunes shorts right now. It kind of matches Space Jam. And I'm seeing on the left is Israel Adesanya from UFC. Honestly, this might be the greatest event of all time. We have the African-Chinese UFC champion, ex-champion, and LeBron James.
Can you type out? Can you? God, you started yesterday. This is a train fighter. Can we please get the rules typed out here, Laddie?
Yep. Got them typed out for you already. And they are on your screen right now.
That's what Jeremy says to him. Alright, man. I'm buzzing. Ladies and gentlemen, any last word? He says good night. Last words from JT. Easy work, ladies. We'll see how this fight plays out right now. Man, I'm really
We're not
excited.
starting off this fight. We see the combinations. We see Israel Adesanya throwing combinations over at LeBron James. And he's wearing a good amount of combinations.
Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James here. Flipping. Score Stevenson, he runs.
Man, LeBron James must have Michael Chandler in his corner. I'm seeing a lot of runner. You know, he follows that one song. I forgot what it's called, but I know the lyrics.
She's a runner, she's a
Exactly.
He says Shakur. Ladies and gentlemen, he says Shakur.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching, I think, the most cinema peak fight ever. LeBron James is using his basketball skills from the fight from basketball, you know, jumping over his opponent. He's got skills with basketball.
He's still running. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening here? Ladies and gentlemen, he's down! He's down! Oh my gosh. If he can continue to fight, go fight!
LeBron James is truly showing his skills right now. He's getting bored in this fight to the point where he kind of took a nap on the ring. You know, he's getting bored in this fight, you know. Honestly, I don't even think he's been lifting a finger right now.
I think what's going to happen is LeBron's taking it easy, but he's going to get the knockout in the late round.
Yeah.
My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, absolute cinema coming here. Both of these fighters, man, they know how to...
LeBron James was kind of dodging side to side, kind of like he was trying to set up a layup right there.
LeBron! Ladies and gentlemen, showing why he's the GOAT of the NBA. Look at the absolute cardio. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Israel is pissed off.
Israel is tired.
He's down.
Am I still getting my face off?
Yeah, man. 1, 2. TJ, we know. Oh my God.
You said what?
Ladies and gentlemen, punching going on from this guy.
My bad, what were you gonna say?
You'll get your face off, man, but I know you're in Jake's corner. Is there any advice that you want to give him?
Shit, stop running, nigga. Talk your punches.
Laddie, what are your thoughts on the first round, man?
You know, Israel Adesanya did what he did best, you know? Kind of was like boxing over there. But, you know, LeBron James, you know, he's really good at basketball. And so he's kind of like trying to play basketball, except there's no basketball. So, I mean, it is quite an entertaining round, as it is very much following the art of Looney Tunes. But,
ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James, as if he isn't getting worked himself, ladies and gentlemen.
Right now we're seeing the second round unfold. LeBron James is taking a lot of hits, and he's back to playing basketball.
Warning 2, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos happening here. JTG. What is going on here? Do you have any words for what's going on here?
I have absolutely no words.
Ladies and gentlemen,
honestly, right now we're seeing Israel Adesanya do the same thing he did to Paulo Costa. If you know, you know.
What's happening here? What's happening?
There is an all-out stage brawl. I honestly have no clue what is happening in this event. Right now, we are seeing the definition of Khabib versus Conor McGregor, except it's Dricus du Plessis.
What?
This is
what's happening.
Right now, I think I see Izzy knocked out, and I think it was LeBron James who did it as he's bowing, signifying that he had finished him off.
Ladies and gentlemen, absolute chaos. Where did LeBron James go?
LeBron James, I think, went into the back area.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, winner is this? Knocked out. Glad it, man. This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen an event like this.
Man, we're all about the fans, we're all about the entertainment.
Good thing is that this event lets me test out my new keyboard, so.
Glad it, what were your thoughts on the event, man?
Very crazy right now. I see LeBron James knocked out. I see your mom getting knocked out too. I'm not saying your mom, but I'm saying the guy named Yo Mom. I'm seeing a lot of people get knocked out right now.
Glad, do you mind kicking these guys or panning? Can you leave LeBron James and...
Yeah, hold on.
And leave Takari, leave Takari. Oh my gosh. Can you kick this guy?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
And this guy too with the backpack.
Who's that? That's your mom.
Back that guy in white shirt, please.
Okay. I'm just gonna teleport everyone that's not LeBron. Gentlemen, chill out.
Israel TJ, man, we need the face off.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to turning on the recording. I had a little. We had a little bit of an intermission on the stream. You know, you can't really show the cameraman beating up everyone.
Can you put TJ in the face off with it?
Yes.
I'll bring him.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I banned him by accident. How do you unban some?
I go to hold on, I can do it.
Okay.
Where is he? What's his username?
Lexify TJ.
Lexify. Like Unreal Vex?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
This is join the experience.
Alrighty. Right now, just see the cameraman just boxing out LeBron James.
Okay. Face off. Gonna have to get a few shots here if y'all don't mind this beautiful face off here. Alright, let it.
Yeah.
I just want to say to the stream, man, thank you everyone for joining. If it wasn't as professional as you wanted it to be, it's not supposed to be professional. It's supposed to be filled with laughter, joy. It was entertaining. We had title fights. If you guys want to see updates, follow us on our Instagram, web. There will be a semifinal happening. A crazy event. Nah, you can say, man, crazy event. We're gonna get an interview with Straight here before we end up. Great, man, you have the big upset Great fight. And you won the title, man. Who do you want?
Who do I want to fight next?
Who do you want to fight next, man?
I don't have anyone specific, but pretty much anybody who wants to 1v1, I'll take it.
Anyone, man. We're thinking about the Soviet master. But you got any words from Shade?
If he does fight me, let it be a good fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. Great fight. What title did you win, Shade? I believe the IBO.
Wasn't it IBO lightweight?
Yeah, IBO lightweight, ladies and gentlemen. Semi-finals happening soon of the tournament. You guys stay tuned. We had great fights. Israel versus TJ also confirmed. Drake versus the Soviet master confirmed. You guys get more matchups. Web.promotions on Instagram. Join the stream. Peace out.